Hello and welcome back to the Simplicity Diaries with me, Kim John Payne. This week I wanted to talk about how we can help kids after they've been in a busy school day, the pickup time or the come home time. For many of us, we pick kids up at school at the end of the day. And for others of us, they're arriving home on the bus. But one of the things to remember is that they're coming off a really busy day. Now, forgive me for saying the obvious, but we've been getting on with what we've been getting on with. So have they. They come home, and one of the first questions we often ask kids is, "How was your day?" Now, we ask that, or words to that effect, in order just to greet them, connect with them. It's very normal, very understandable, and it's lovely, really. But it's sometimes the worst question we can ask, because all they're longing to do is just is contract, is to close down, is to shut it down. The school day has been full of activity, full of stimulation. Their sympathetic nervous systems are just full on. They've been asked to respond, they've been asked to raise their hand, they've been asked to get involved in projects and whatever it is. They've been asked to be stimulated, aroused, responding, and so on. When they get in the car, for example, at the end of the day, you just let them be. And many of us are onto this, but just let them be. Have some food ready for them, as many of us do, a little snack, a drink, maybe a book they can look at, maybe just something they can, if they're very little, just something they can play with quietly. If they're older, they just want to sit quietly and just and go into that sort of that connected, quiet space where we know we're connecting with them, but we do it almost silently. They get into the car and we say hello, but not too brightly, just hello. And then let them, and if they want to initiate a conversation, then even if they do want to do that, keep your responses relatively small. It's oh gosh, really? Oh, that sounds hard. Huh. Oh dear. Oh my goodness, that sounds like fun. Those kinds of comments. Let them unpack. If they want to, that's perfectly fine. Let them talk. Most kids won't want to talk. Some of the more chatty ones will. But even if they do, keep it simple. Let them unpack. Let the parasympathetic nervous system, the calming, cooling, digesting of the day, let that be the thing. Now, some kids will do it silently, as I mentioned. Also, some kids will do it verbally. But what's important is that we stay in our lane. We don't get involved. We don't, begin a daily interview for pain and anguish and start checking out all the things that might have gone wrong and commenting, and just stay quiet. And model that kind of quietness so that they can come back into themselves and just be a little bit more, quite a bit more restful. It's that kind of giving of space when space is needed is modeling something really rather important for kids. And just allow them to sit with what they're sitting with. And then if you're driving along, let's say you're in the car or you're at home, and they've got off the bus and they've come inside, but, wherever the space is, maybe we can do a little I Thought of You When. The I Thought of You When is another podcast. You can look that up, actually. I think it's called I Thought of You When. Look back through the catalogue. But essentially what that is, in a nutshell, is that the child's, doing something, your teenager, your 12-year-old's just sitting on the sofa, looking at a book or just staring into space. And rather than try to ask them a question where they need to respond, you might just want to say, you know what, Michael, I thought of you today. I thought of you when I saw this really amazing motorcycle. I don't know what it was, but it wasn't super noisy, but it looked so cool. The paintwork on it, I wasn't quick enough to take a photograph of it, but I sure thought of you when I saw it. Yeah. And I thought of you when, for a little child, it might have been, oh, I thought of you today when I actually saw a little baby wearing a cap just like the one that you wore when you were little. It reminded me so much of when you were a baby, love. Yeah, I thought of you when I saw that. Now, the child in this situation, the tween or teen, is not being asked to respond, but you are building a connection bridge with them. They know that you moved through your day and that you thought of them. They know they're home now in the base camp of family, and they know that you've been thinking with them, but it also doesn't require them in any way to respond. And lastly, the last thing I want to mention is the coming home time, if it can be made as much as possible rhythmical and predictable, that you do the same thing every day when they get in the car, every day when they get out the car and go into home. It's the same little ritual. It might be to the counter for a little snack. It might be just they can go to their room and have free time. It might be a myriad of different things, but it's the same every single day, is with give or take, of course, because we've got things going on, but as much as possible make it rhythmical, because all these things that I've mentioned get the evening off, the late afternoon, and particularly into the evening when there's transitions to dinner time and for, or even homework time, dinner time, transitions then to bedtime or bath time and then bedtime. All these transitions will get off to a much, much better trajectory if we give some decompression space, some downtime, and we have that safety release valve that allows them to calm and soothe before the activity of the day of the afternoon and the evening starts. Okay. As always, sure hope that was helpful. Bye-bye for now.